Hi, welcome back to Reflections on Memorization with Sebastien Braxton, and this is a reflection on Psalm 34 in verse 9, where David says, "Oh, fear the Lord, you his saints. There is no want to those who fear him." Now, it's interesting that David just told us that he wanted us to taste and see with that same emotional expression. Oh, taste and see. Now he's saying, "Oh, fear the Lord, you his saints," which is now making us believe that trusting in the Lord and also tasting and seeing that God is good is at the very heart of fearing God. Have you ever heard people tell you or challenge you and say, "Hey, where's the fear of the Lord? And do you have the fear of the Lord?" Or maybe you've heard about this prophecy in Revelation 14 where it says, "Fear God." Well, what if fear wasn't so much about this concept of trepidation, of trembling? What if fear was something more about awe, about amazement, about wonder, about this experience where you've experienced something that when it happens, you're like a little child. When they experience joy, what do they say? They say, "Do it again." And then you spin them around again, and what does the child say? "Do it again." This is the exact concept of what it means to fear the Lord. And as God continues to show himself as awesome and even more awesome than what you and I imagine, we continue to desire to allow God to do it again. And David says, when you and I fear the Lord, when you and I trust in him, when you and I taste God, and we find that he is good, he says, there is no want to those who fear him. Now, think about the power of this promise. The fear of the Lord leads us to be surrounded by the angel of the Lord in his presence. The fear of the Lord now says, you will never lack. That's a huge statement. In a world which 80% of people on the planet do not have access to clean water, where you're dealing with 1 in 5 or 3 children is going without adequate food every day or medical attention. There seems to be a world filled with lack. But then the question is, a world filled with lack may be a world that is lacking in the fear of God, in trusting him. What better way to fill the need of others than to encourage them to fear the Lord? What about you and me? Maybe there's a lack in your life. I know there's some in mine. And what if the answer wasn't to try harder or to get some connections? What if the answer was to fear the Lord and to believe and claim that promise that there is no lack to those who fear him, who stand in awe of God, who trust him, and who taste and see, put him to the test and find that God proves himself. I encourage you to take that challenge today